Good morning, YouTube. Today, I've actually got the loader. I dropped it off at the house yesterday. So I'm in my little 30 by 30 shop at the house. So I can get the truck in here, and I got more of my tools and stuff. This is kind of where I actually keep all my stuff. So got my little air compressor there, toolbox. I gotta do a little cleaning up and stuff in here, but yeah, I brought this home. So the job I'm working at this week is just a couple blocks over. And I'm actually going to replace the fan belts on this thing. They are starting to squeak. So I'll kind of walk through how to get to that. And that's, you open that up, and then there's a little latch back here on the back. And that door swings open, and got two 19mm bolts here and here, and you can take it, and the radiator swings open. Which, I mean, it does swing open, and I guess I'll kind of go over some of that, but that's kind of one of, which I know most of them are doing that now, but that was always their big selling point, is that the radiator swings open so you can access everything, which it does, but it goes from here to like here. So for me, I still can't fit hardly in between there, so I kind of have to pull it over a little bit more, which I know, I mean, I think the limiting factor on this is the radiator lines. The top one not as much as the bottom one, which I understand. It's kind of hard to make a radiator line that will route out of the way the exhaust and everything else, but be able to swing out. So, and I'm sure like on the newer ones now, like I said, this is a 2011, they may have improved that a little bit more, but I'll kind of go over some things that kind of annoy me on the Takeuchis too, which, like I said, I'm sure they've improved on some of these designs, but you guys always hear me brag about these things, which I do. I mean, I love the machine, but there's just some of those things that are borderline annoying whenever you have to go to work on it. For one, is trying to get to this with having to, I used to take a ratchet strap and just kind of pull the radiator a little bit further. The 1,000-hour service, that is the cover for the suction strainer in the hydraulic tank. So, which, I mean, that's not bad, I guess, but you do take the entire radiator out and the fan shroud, so you spend more time pulling everything out of the way just to get to that. It takes about 5 minutes to take that thing out and clean it, put it back in, and you start putting everything back together. The other big thing that really drives me nuts, this is a battery, and that battery probably goes all the way over here to the side. So in that same time, I think you can leave the radiator, but you have to take the shroud out, which is a real pain with the radiator in there. And then that battery slides out. I know on like the TL12 R2 and V2s, they've now put a plate on the side of it over here that you unbolt, and you can get right to the battery, which is a great idea. So that's one of the other things, which I understand there's only so much room to pack in these machines, but like on my old case, the battery was where your feet, and you see your feet sit right above the battery. But on this machine, the battery's up here, but that's where the fuel tank actually sits, is where you set your feet at. It's right down underneath there, because it's got a 20 or 21 gallon tank on it, I believe. So in order to make room for it, they had to put it up there. So, I mean, I kind of understand some of it, but at the same time, it does make it a little difficult to get in here to work on some of this stuff. But yeah, we'll get the impact out, get the radiator loose. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about, how it swings open. So, and we'll look at the belts. What else if you turn the air hose on? Gotta get new ends. Yeah, I need to blow the radiator. A little dusty apparently. But yeah, this is open. You can kind of hold it to there is about it. So yeah, I mean, you can pull it, but that, I mean, pulling on that pretty good, but you can see it puts the lower radiator hose and the upper hose and got a lot of strain on them. So, man, those are the belts. Got the one over the alternator, and the one, I think it's the one over the alternator that's making all the squeaking noise and stuff. Because I thought I changed one on the compressor, but I could be wrong. So you got to go in there and you actually, maybe about as easy. If I remember right, you kind of loosen the alternator up and loosen this, and then you the alternator will actually rock over to the side and you can pull it off. But yeah, I gotta take the I think I gotta take the belt off for the AC compressor too, which is just a little idler pulley. You can get in there and see it down there at the bottom. We'll get the radiator kind of pulled out of the way a little bit more and try to find a spot in there for the camera where you guys can maybe see what's actually going on. And we'll get this belt taken off. Yeah, the only thing I could find here at the house was my 20-foot tow strap out of my Jeep. So that'll kind of at least hold it where you can see in there a little bit better. But I should be able to take those two nuts loose on that idler down there on that bolt, and that'll release the tension on that lower belt, and then take the alternator loose and we'll get those off. So yeah, we'll try that. If I have to, I'll take that. There's just 4 bolts in the shroud, and you got to take, I think it may be easier to take the upper radiator hose off. So it's not a huge job and probably give me a lot more room, but like I said, I'm usually kind of lazy, so if I can try to take it apart without taking all that off, we'll do that. But if not, we'll definitely take that out of the way. Okay, I'm just gonna take the shroud out. I've tried a little bit. I may be able to get that, but it's just gonna kind of annoy me. So we'll take these 4 bolts loose and I'll get the shroud out. It's not that bad, and it'll make the rest of the job easier. Like I said, I feel if the radiator swung all the way open, you could probably do this because you could actually fit inside that area and get these out. But and you gotta take the overflow. See how much fluid runs out of here. Yeah, I might as well clean that mud and stuff out while I'm here too. But I'll have to add a little more antifreeze too. But yeah, at least now we can get to everything. Like the bearing in the water pump looks good. It's got, those are usually on these too. What the water pump back behind there, it keeps working, but the bearing goes out, so the fan gets a lot of movement. But which I've replaced those several times. You can actually leave the straight. You just take these 4 bolts out, and then I think there's 4 or 5 more bolts in the water pump back behind there. But I'm trying to remember. I want to say you tighten this bolt to loosen the tension, I think. Feels like that's about all it wants to go. I guess I don't have to loosen it up that much. I just take the pulley off. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's how I did that before. I can't remember. Just pop that out, yeah. Ta-da! Yeah, tell me it fit over the fan at least. I won't take that off either. Okay, I'm hoping, I don't know how to tell or if a belt can just actually start squeaking, but like I said, I don't remember ever replacing this belt, so there may not even be any numbers on it, so I may have to, I don't know, we'll take it up to O'Reilly's and see if they can match it or not. But yeah, that's, that wasn't too bad. Like I said, it's a little annoying for what you got to go through, but it's not terrible. So we'll go see if we can find some belts and get them put back on. We may be in luck with a little brake clean and actually found a part number, hopefully. May just kind of keep wiping it off and see if there's any more, but maybe they can cross-reference it enough and get me going. All right, well, we lucked out and I got some more belts. I want you to check the tension, and it's just, you're supposed to check it right in here. I think the first time I changed a water pump, I did this, and I didn't check it or something. I thought the belt was a little too loose because it was kind of squealing then, and I ended up tightening the alternator down, and I actually think I sped the bearing up wearing on the water pump because it was constantly pulling it over to the side of the alternator. So I think I kind of helped speed that up in the one water pump. So we will get the book out and see if we can get the proper tension on this and then get the other one put on. When we're replacing with a new belt, the slack needs to be 5 to 8 millimeter, and then you let it run at an idle for 3 to 5 minutes to break the belt in and then adjust. So we'll put it on here, kind of get it snugged up, and I'll probably yeah, I'll fire it up and kind of let it break in. I think I can go back and adjust it even when I put the shroud and stuff back on. Yeah, and we'll kind of check, I think what I did last time. That's about 3/4 of an inch away from there right now. Okay, the belts are back on. And this could be a bit of a gamble, I guess, but I may go ahead and put the shroud back in and bolt it up so I can get the upper radiator hose hooked back up. It says you're supposed to run this thing for 3 to 5 minutes and let the belts kind of break in, and then, you know, set the tension or check the tension again. I've kind of got them a little on the tight side. I guess my plan, or what I'm hoping is I can put the shroud on, let it run, and then it should be about right on the break-in. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave the radiator kind of like that, but we'll fire it back up, let it run for a little bit, and then I think I know I can the alternator, and I should be able to reach it if I need to adjust the tension on the belts. That way I can just avoid taking this hose loose again, and then the fan's just not out there where it'll catch anything. But yeah, kind of pick up my tools and get the door open and fire this thing up. And that's that. Got it all buttoned back up and topped off. Everything looks to be good. So, and it worked. You know, they stretched out a little bit more, but they're still within the slack or the range that it's supposed to be on the belt. So I'll run it this week, kind of keep an eye on it, double check it, make sure they don't get loosened up or anything. I'll get the hours out of it, put that on my phone so I know when I put the new belts on there, and so that's good. But yeah, that's the replacing the fan belts on the TL250. So hopefully that was somewhat helpful. So we'll see. But yep, we'll call it a night and catch you guys later.